We're back with another one. This is your girl, Miss Cable from Total Entertainment Radio. For those of you who are just tuning in, we have another show lined up for you today. We have a great guest. We have Mr. Brian Smith on a FreeMan Financial Services, FreeMan88 Financial Services.
Right.
How are you?
I'm fine. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm
Good,
good. I'm good.
good, good. So, Brian, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Well, I run a credit repair company. We're based out of Dallas, Texas. We specialize in 30 to 45 day negative credit item removal. Along with that, we also give business credit counseling, where we educate business on the fundability aspect of their business. Pretty much just making sure the documentation aspect is in place, so that businesses can pass what's called a credibility or a viability check when they go and try to pursue financing from banks for the business.
Okay. Is this something that you've always seen yourself doing? Like this what you want to do when you grew up?
Uh, Not necessarily.
Hmm.
I've always been sort of a entrepreneur, so to speak. And
Okay.
when you really kind of get into entrepreneurship, you see that it's a pretty expensive endeavor.
Hmm.
And when my own personal funds started to run low on certain business ventures that I had set out on, I had
Hmm.
to find secondary sources of capital, and I had to find different ways to fund the different projects that I had set in place. And credit, probably one of the best vehicles to be able
Mm,
to, finance whatever type of business opportunity that you may have had.
right. So when you were, I guess when you were going through those different things on your journey, you
Mhm.
came across the credit, and
Right.
so it must have piqued your interest.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. Like I said, with credit, um, one of the, I guess, the main pieces that I take away from it is that it's not really a skill based industry.
Okay.
So it's not necessarily removing negative items is not determined on how smart you are, how good you are at a
Hmm.
certain thing. Pretty much anybody that you see that's offering any type of credit sweep, any type of credit service,
Hmm.
period, is essentially just having the right information, the right
Mm,
letters, the right laws, knowing how to arrange words in a certain type of way to get
mm.
action on your file. We actually just developed a course that go into detail how our company actually submits credit sweeps, the law that is used to do a credit sweep, um, how to mail, how to draft the dispute. It's only one way that you can guarantee negative items be removed from the report in 30 to
Okay.
45 days. So a lot of the stuff you see with, you know, people offering do-it-yourself credit packages with
Hmm.
30 and 40 letters and,
Hmm.
this law for this and this law for that, it do not work like that. I've been doing that for about 4 years now, and it's
Hmm.
only one way to do it. It's only one law. You really only need one letter. And, if you send it and you draft it in a certain type of way, um, the account's gonna fall off, and that's a relatively easy process. Like I said, so to speak, with my company, I don't mean to get like on a rant,
You
but
fine.
with my company, what
Hmm.
we do is we don't dispute on the validity or the accuracy of the account. So whether or not an account is actually your account or not, that
Hmm.
doesn't even come up in our dispute process. What we dispute is the credit bureau's actual right to report on the consumer's account. And if they're not in possession of certain documentation, i.e., an original consumer signed contract, then they don't even have the authority to report on the consumer's account. So
Okay.
what we do is too much.
I was about to pause you because you gotta school us a little bit
Okay, yeah, no
on
doubt,
what
no doubt.
these things is you're talking about.
All right, yes, ma'am.
So
So before,
what is a negative item on
okay,
your
so
credit report?
so a negative item could be anything. A negative item could be not so much a late payment, but an account that you would have had and would have defaulted on and would have been closed out because it was defaulted. Now I don't
Okay.
have to necessarily be closed out yet, but if you know you finna walk away from it, you ain't finna pay it, that's cool.
Hmm.
We can have it removed off of your personal credit. Okay, so that's
Now,
what I
like
mean
the
by a
student
negative
loans
account.
fall into that?
Student loans, anything. So
Okay. Okay.
I anything can be removed out of your credit. So student loans, they fall into a certain criteria. Bank
Hmm.
residence, child support, that can be removed, but that is a separate criteria. I'll get into that a little
Okay.
bit later. But right now, as far as just repossession, student loans, evictions, it is a
Hmm.
second step that I take with evictions if you went through the court process. But a lot of people hadn't even really been evicted. A lot of
Okay.
people just owe a balance
Right.
on a lease, and that's different. right? And that's easy to get removed. Before any company can pursue a debt from you or report a debt on you, they first have to have a contract that's obligating you to that debt. Okay, so that's very important to remember, not only with credit bureaus, but also with collection companies. All right, after the account has closed. But kind of getting back to what I was saying, we don't dispute on the actual validity of those accounts. So whether or not it's actually your account, whether or not you actually defaulted on it or not, it's never even going to come up. We're going to challenge whether or not they actually have the original consumer signed contract on file. So that process or that challenge is called the credit bureau's method of verification. So what we ask them to do is to provide the actual documentation, original consumer signed contract, within a certain amount of time to show that they've actually verified your account by the federal statutes in place. Okay. And the only room that the law gives as far as for them to have verified an account is to have the original contract on file. So when we ask for that, they got to present that in a certain amount of time. If they can't do that, then the file had to get removed from the credit report. Now, that's relatively easy for me to do. That's not a difficult thing. And it's a couple of different strategies that I employ with that in my book, Credit Suisse 101. I kind of go into a little bit. Now that strategy I just gave, that's one strategy. I go in a little bit more detail about how that law actually works and some of the different things that you can do with it. But that essentially is how credit repair works. Now it's other, like I said, but it's all just a game. You know what I mean? So like I said, that right there is how our company will go about removing it on the surface. But it's a lot of different things. Like if you've been a victim of identity theft, and for whatever reason, it's accounts on your file that you're not aware of. You know what I mean?
So you're able to find those things out?
Absolutely. And there's laws that protect consumers against those types of scenarios. So for example, the law book that I use is called the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Okay. That's the book of laws that you use to try to get items removed or that protects consumers against the reporting of credit agencies. Okay. That's that book. In this book, it's certain sections of certain laws you can use against the credit bureaus. One of them is section 605B. And it's really the holy grail of, this real game that I'm giving up right now. Like I said, it's in my book and my course. I charge $1,500 to get the information and to teach it. But like I said, at the same time, like I said, one of the things that I pride myself and my company on is our transparency and how we give away so much information, real information that you can really put into your life and really use, you know what I'm saying? Not game, not cap stuff to just kind of bring you to me. Like, take what I'm saying and try it yourself. And if you can't do it or you don't feel comfortable, reach out to me, get my course, and I'll walk you through it. Or you can link in with our company and I'll submit it for you. But this stuff works. You can check it out yourself. Section 605B, and what it says is that any consumer has been a victim of identity theft and includes that those accounts in a dispute along with the police report and the Federal Trade Commission identity theft report. Any information that's included in that dispute has to be blocked, not just removed, but blocked from the file within 4 days of the request of that receipt. And a sworn statement from police is supposed to be adequate to have that information blocked without any investigation from the credit bureau or the collection company. So essentially what that means is anything that's on your credit that's negative, if you attach with it a dispute, and you tell them that, hey, I've been a victim of identity theft. Many accounts have been established in my name. I've been working with police. I've been working with a attorney and a private investigator to stop the use of my name by somebody who does not have, my permission. Please remove these negative accounts. If you send that dispute with a police report, FTC report, anything that's on there gonna come out. And that's just, that's for people who, that's just information. Like I said, what you do with it, but that's how it works. You know what I mean? That's, that's just what it is.
So you got this book.
The person, just kind of finish on this note. The person who invented LifeLock, and that's just how these people play their game. Like I said, Donald Trump filed bankruptcy 4 times. Like I don't think people process what they mean. The man who invented LifeLock that protect people's social security numbers, that's a famous company, LifeLock. He filed identity theft 13 times. That's what I'm saying. So like these folks know how this system works, and they know how to run it. And like I said, it's a lot of different the system really a dirty, nasty system when you even think about the credit bureaus in general and just who they actually represent. They don't represent you and I. We are literally consumers, and we call the consumer line when we call to the credit bureaus. Their customers, the customers are the people that we asking for credit. They is their customer is the furniture company, is the car company. Every time I go down to the car lot and I try to get some credit, The man behind the desk at the car lot, he had to get my credit report.
Yeah.
Well, he had to pay for that from the credit bureaus. Okay, so he is giving the credit bureaus
customer
money, right? Okay, so keep in mind. So for the credit bureau, they holding my information, they reporting data on me, whether it's accurate, inaccurate, whatever. And a lot of time it is inaccurate, and it's affecting my credit score to the negative. Well, whose best interest is it for me to have a negative credit score? The person I'm going to ask for credit. Because if I do got bad credit, he can charge me high interest rates, high down payments, all that. You feel me? He can tie himself to me for a long amount of time. That, and for me, that sounds like a direct conflict of interest. You feel what I'm saying? But they don't care nothing about that. So, you know, okay, that's cool. But it's certain type of ways you can beat their system. You know what I'm saying? The laws were written in an era that was before this technological advance that we have experienced over the last few years. And those laws still work in favor of the consumer. So while they here, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we definitely, we trying to get all of it out on. Yes, ma'am.
So give us some tips. Like, how can people stay up on their credit?
Okay, yeah. So one of the things that you can do is, like I said, initially you can go through a dispute process and have all the negative items removed off your report. And like I said, there's a couple different strategies you can use. Some a little bit more aggressive than other. But if you listening to this, like I just gave you how to not only do it for yourself, but do it for whoever. I do $20,000 a month in credit. And I'm talking about that's how, you know what I mean? So remove the negative items off your report. And then keep in mind, though, like I said, that's the easy part. Right. How you really establish yourself and how you really get to a point to where you can really start leveraging that is if you have to start building credit. Okay. And a lot of people, and I'm not talking about authorized user trade lines, a lot of people familiar with that, but the new FICO systems, they can detect when you're, when it's a primary account or when you're an authorized user. You need to attach the structure that you need to try to shoot for is 3 revolving accounts. Okay, we're talking about primary accounts that you can establish in your own name. Now, initially, especially if you don't have credit, these are going to be credit building accounts, and they're not going to base approvals off your credit score, but you will have to put down some type of deposit for collateral, but they're going to work the same way as unsecured credit cards. But the structure is 3 of those types of cards, or revolving accounts or credit card accounts, and at least 1 installment account, or an installment account is a loan that you take out on a fixed amount of money, like an auto loan, home loan, student loan, personal loan, something like that. Something that when you pay it back, the loan close out. With credit cards, when you pay the money back, the money revolves or recycles, and you can reuse it again. Right. So you need 3 of those accounts and 1 installment account before the bank will look at you as credit worthy. Okay. Assuming that you do that, all right, there's a certain type of performance that you want to have on the accounts. Okay. With the credit card accounts, there's a certain utilization or a certain ratio that you want to be at as far as how you spend and how you perform on the accounts, right? With the credit card account, all right, I know if you go online, you'll hear people say that you don't ever want to spend no more than 30% on the card, okay? After you spend more than 30% on a card, you can start to experience negative dings to the credit report. So, and what that means is if you have a card with a $100 limit, if you spend $31, right, that puts you at 31% utilization on that card. At that point, you over the threshold or the ratio that the algorithm credit bureau used to calculate the score say you need to be, and you can experience dings. Where the 30% ratio, that is true. If you go over that, it'll mess you up a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But that ratio really is just for stabilization. 30%, 20, 30%, that's really stabilization. That's not gonna make the score go up or down. When you're trying to get a boost, especially during the credit repair process, you really want that ratio at 10% or lower. Okay, I tell people all the time, personal credit is not for like business venture and business opportunity. That credit is to leverage larger personal purchases. You feel what I'm saying? You really don't even want to do those in your own name. You really want to get to a place where you're doing all this stuff through your business, but that's a whole nother conversation. But essentially, what you want to do, like I said, is establish those 3 lines of credit and keep the utilization below 10% and make your payments on time. Okay. One of the cards that I recommend is a $5,000 trade line through a company. Another is a $300 trade line. And the last card is a secure card. The secure card is the most powerful card out of the 3 cards. The reason being is because the secure card puts the power back into the consumer's hand. Assuming with the secure card, how it works is you get a bank $200 as collateral. They're going to issue you back a credit card, okay, and use your $200, like I said, if you default or something like that on the bill.
On the bill.
All right. assuming that you keep the utilization at 10%, so at no more than $20 when that statement comes out, need to be spent on that card. You small day-to-day expenses like gas, bag of chips, something you can easily get back to that $20 ratio or $0, really, preferably. Okay. Assuming you're doing that and the payments current, what you're able to do on the second month of having a secure card is go and put an additional deposit down on the secure card and increase your credit limit. All right. Whether the bank extends you a credit limit increase or whether you do it manually through a secure card, the algorithm that the credit bureau use that responds very well, you will get a significant boost to the score on that action. Typically, you have to wait until the bank will offer you that increase on your credit card. You have to perform a certain type of way. You have to make your payments on time, have very low utilization, and then the bank will offer you more money. Obviously, that's good for your credit score. Like I said, on the secure card side, you can take that same action manually and go put the deposit down yourself
So
and
like
get the
you would make
same
like
effect as if the
okay.
bank had extended it to you.
So you can make like another $200 deposit or something
Exactly.
like that.
And raise your credit limit from $200 to $400. You're going to get a guaranteed boost every time. My customers who are in the higher or mid to higher sixes, mid sevens, and they want to see that 800 on, the credit report, that's an action that I tell them to take. A lot of time, them customers, they don't have nothing to remove. They got, accounts that they just got to build up, and it just going to take time to pay on those accounts to get the credit history on the accounts. Well, one thing they can do to kind of bypass that or skip that or get a kind of like a little bump or a boost is to take that secure card play. Now, a lot of people get the secure card, but they're not aware of increasing their credit limit. What they are aware of is that the people, if you perform on the right, the bank gonna take the secure card and turn it into an unsecured card, and that's good too. You're gonna get a bump there, but that's the bank not gonna tell you about increasing your credit limit. That's where you really get. That's where you really get the for real boost and the real bump. But add those 3 accounts, and then like a little account, like a self-lender account, and then like I said, from there you can start building up strong organic credit lines, and from there, you know what I'm saying. A lot of people will tell you about different credit cards you can get and APR, but after you have that structure, you know what I mean, you can get pretty much whatever kind of cards you're trying to get. But like I said, you don't really want to be getting $25,000 and $20,000 cards on your personal credit. Talking about, especially if you're talking about trying to business stuff. You know what I mean? Like it'd be more feasible for you to go once you do get your personal credit. If you do want to leverage your personal credit, set up a fundable business. And what I mean by fundable business, all your documentation in place, LLC, EIN, business, virtual office space, business email, business telephone number registered with 411, DUNS number, NAICS codes, different things like that. There's like 14 different checks that you need to have in place before you talk about going to see a bank. But it's real simple stuff.
Do you help set that up too?
Yes, ma'am. So that's what we was talking about with the business fundability. So after we get the personal credit in place, we come back on the backside and then we set up set your business up from a fundability aspect, and we are affiliates with certain banks and certain companies to where we can send you through a program and you could potentially have up to $80,000 funding in a few weeks if you meet the minimum credit criteria, which is a 680 credit score, no negative items on your report, no more than 6 inquiries, and at least one $5,000 trade line has been on your report for 6 months. Some of this stuff, it ain't just like no, you know what I'm saying, but you don't want it like that, especially on the business credit side. Business credit gonna take you about 3 to 6 months to get some serious funding, especially if you had to go through some type of credit repair. Now, if you don't have to go through credit repair, you know what I'm saying, we can, if somebody got that structure that I just said right now, 680, no negatives, a $5,000 trade line, less than 6 inquiries, we can set your business up immediately, and you can get funding in 3 weeks up to $80,000. And it's 3 different rounds of that funding. And I can go a little bit, more in depth about that. But like I said, we also, if you don't want to use your personal credit, because like I said, it's 2 sides to that coin as well. So using a personal guarantee definitely can get funding a lot faster, but you have to understand what you're risking. If for whatever reason you default on that money, it's going to be a lot more that you're going to get on the business side than you would on the personal side. Now, those cash credit lines not going to affect your personal credit in no kind of way while you're using them. So you don't have to worry about utilization. You don't have to worry about missed payments necessarily. But if you default on that account, then, like I said, then it's gonna report on your personal credit. And in some instances, with some banks, you stand at risk of losing like certain assets and stuff like that. So there's definitely a risk on that personal guarantee side. But if you have, like, what I recommend for people is, if you do go that route, don't put it into a business that you speculating on, period. Like, so the business
Right,
need to be
right, right,
already generating some type of income, or
right.
you need to be trying to put it in some type of real estate flip. I won't be trying to build no portfolio with a play like that. You know what I'm saying? I would go ahead and connect with a realtor, identify area, identify a property, pretty much do the deal before you touch the money. You know what
Before
I'm
you
saying?
touch
But
it.
even but with the CAD credit line, it's different. Like, it's not a loan, so you only pay on what you use, and you don't have to pay until you start using it, and it's good for 12 months. So you can get it, and you don't have to use it for 12 months. You know what I'm saying? You can identify the deal. You know what I'm saying? And really do everything on paper. Everything work different in theory. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? In actual practice. But at the same time, you want to have all that stuff together before you even test them. And I won't be trying to do no clothing, not knocking nobody, nothing. Cause like I say, how the
Right.
internet is now, you can identify your target audience, like that. And if you do, with a decent videographer, and you can, get a real nice image, ain't no telling what'll happen. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, that's still speculation. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you just have to be real with it. Because if you default on it, they can come get you.
They'll
You know
get
what
you on
I'm
the
saying?
back end.
So if you don't want to take that risk, we also can help you build organic business credit by it's the 5 stages of building business credit, what's called, and we attach you to a starter vendor lines of credit. Attach you with companies who will not only extend you business credit without having any business credit, but report that business credit. 97% of vendors don't even report to the 3 major business credit bureaus. So a lot of times people be getting credit and don't be getting, no business score because ain't nobody reporting that information. So we'll show you how to move through the different levels of the different tiers of business credit. And pretty much it's a real simple process. How you do that is by establishing what's called payment experiences. And all a payment experience is when you get a partnership with a company, say for example, like a company like Uline, and probably a lot of your viewers probably familiar with their company. They report to Duns and Bradstreet, and I think Experian Business. So when you make a payment to Uline for whatever it is that you got, when they report, it take 90 days for a business line to report. They report to Duns, Bradstreet, and Experian. Well, that'll be 2 payment experiences that you will get from that one company.
From that one.
Okay,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
Granger, I think they reported 2, and I think Phillips 76 reported 2. Blah blah blah. So like that. So if you connect with the right companies, you can have the necessary payment experiences on your first credit cycle. To move to the next level of business credit, you have to have 5 payment experiences. 5 payment experiences to get you the store vendor credit, like Amazon, Best Buy, Lowe's, Home Depot, places like that. Okay. Once you get with them and they report, you move on to 10 payment experiences. 10 payment experiences to get you cash credit lines, like the one that you can initially get with the personal guarantee at the gate. Okay. So the one that I just talked about, when you can attach yourself as a personal guarantee or a cosign to the business and get up to $80,000 in business funding initially, you can do that on a business itself with no personal guarantee after you have 10 payment experiences attached to the business. Okay. And you can have that in 6 months after your second credit cycle. Okay. After 10 payment experiences, you move to 14 payment experiences, and that's when you can start getting auto financing and fleet credit with no personal guarantee.
Got you. So how do people sign up for your course?
Okay, so the course is probably about 6 days away. My videographer, he was in a bad accident. He broke his pelvic bone. And yeah, so he been down for about like a week. And we kind of really just not getting back to filming, but we were already pretty much finished. So I had a course probably ready in probably about the next 4 or 5 days. But if you want to connect and see, I had the book available. I was, and it's so crazy. I was selling the book and the audio version. I think I sent you a copy. Then
Okay, I think so too.
yeah, well, I was selling that for only $50 on my website, right? But when I got with my guy and I had a partner, they was like, well, nah, we need to, stop that, and we're gonna take it and we develop pretty much the information from the book into the course. And like I said, now the price, the ticket on $1,500. So, but it's very detailed, it's very extensive. I'll be sure that you can get a link to it. And like I said, it's your one-stop shop on everything credit pay. When you have that book, you'll never have to worry about credit ever again. You'll always be able to go in and remove anything off your report anytime for you, whoever, you know what I mean? And not only that, you'll be able to attach yourself to credit lines to be able to start building credit. When you get that book, like I said, most things that really make stuff move is simple. Like most stuff, my course not no drawn out 8 weeks, none of that. Don't take all that. You know what I'm saying? It just don't, like, you know what I'm saying? If you listen, if somebody really, really on this and really, really trying to, like how I was when I was trying to, you know what I'm saying, when I figured out what credit was and I really, really aggressively tried to learn it, somebody really aggressively trying to learn what they're trying to learn, and they listen to this, I ain't got to worry. Like they know how to do it now. You know what I'm saying? If you get my course, you get my book. Like it's a guide, and that's something I ain't have. I had to go through trial and error and hit my head a couple
Right.
times. But
Right.
like my book, just it's 4 years of information. You know
Of
what I'm saying? It didn't
information.
take me
You
a
know,
long time to learn it. Like I said, I learned it in a year. You know what I'm
mm-hmm.
saying? 3 years just to make money. Like anytime, like if I was just flat broke, dead broke anywhere, like all I had to have is some Wi-Fi and a Facebook account,
You
and you know
good.
what I'm saying, I started doing credit, like $7 person, like
Okay.
it is what
So
it is. Yeah.
how can people get the book?
So the book not available. The book not available right now. You know
Oh,
what I'm
right.
saying? Like I just sent it to you just so you can see it. And you can
Got
see
you.
it's for
Got
real.
you.
But it's not available right now.
Got you.
Because like I said, it's in the
You got to
course.
change some
Like I said, but
things.
I had a link here probably by the next really like
Next week.
4 or 5
Okay.
days. Like, and I make sure that you have it.
Okay.
But like I
Well,
said, it's credit suisse one of
in the
them.
meantime, though, people can still contact you for the credit
Oh
repair
yeah, definitely,
services.
definitely, definitely. Yeah. Let me. So I could be reached. It's two different numbers.
Okay.
First number is you could do 404-429. That's if you have any question about credit, anything you want to
Hmm.
get your credit removed, anything. 404-429-0944. And then you can, and I said one time, 404-429-0944. And if you want another line, it's 888-700-5057.
Okay. So
I
now,
reach anyone online.
do you offer like consultations?
So yeah, so I do consultations for free. So I
Okay.
get on your report and I look and tell you what's going on. I give you analyzation of the file, and I do that for free. But typically to get the 30 to 45 day removal, I charge $500 for that, and it's pretty much it's not pretty much. I guarantee the service. Now I do want to give a disclaimer, and I want to be very clear about this.
Go
There
ahead.
are 3 different credit reports, and by no means I'm saying in 30 to 45 days each one of those reports will be completely clean. You'll be ready to go to the bank in 30 to 45 days. But what I can guarantee that 30 to 45 days from your initial payment, you will see action on your report. And by action, I do mean accounts falling off of the credit report. And my style is very aggressive. So I typically only need 1 round of disputes. But if something comes up and we
Hmm.
get some back from the 3 credit reporting agents and we see we need a second round, I will dispute that file until it's completely clean, free of charge. But I hardly ever need
Wow.
two rounds of disputes. Like I say, it's very aggressive. And like I said, I know it seemed like, oh man, because like credit is so important to our lives and credit
Right.
is tied around so many different things we do. But I promise you, like this is some of the easiest stuff I ever did in my life. I definitely had to put in a little time to kind of understand it, but they just because they got
Understand
the
it. Right.
information spread out over everywhere. My book, it like I
Right.
said, it cut down that time. It take you straight to how to do it. Straight to how to get it off of there. But like I said, if you want me to do it, I charge $500 for the dispute removal. And if you
Hmm.
want to attach inquiries with that, an inquiry service by itself is $250. But when you pair it with the dispute service, you get a $50 discount. So for dispute removal, as well as collections across all 3 bureaus, as well as inquiries, is a total of $700. Just disputes, no inquiries. And some people don't need the inquiry removal service. It's $500.
Okay. Okay. And
Yes, ma'am.
you said something key. Um, our last thing before I let you go, you said that credit is all around us. It's important. Why? Why is credit so important?
Because it's because you can do stuff without using your own money. Just think about this, like, just for example, like if you're able to fix your personal credit, right, and go and get this $80,000 from these people over here at Fund and Grow, okay, you get the $80,000, and let's say I know, like in Detroit, the housing market, like how it is in my hometown, I'm from Birmingham, Alabama, okay,
Mm-hmm.
so say you get a house for 40, okay, you find a house for 40,000, okay, and you put 20 in it. Okay, you 60 in. Let's say you put 30 in it. You 70 in. Okay. And you come back and you sell the house for
Mm-hmm.
$100,000. And that's nothing. Okay. But let's just say it sell for $100,000. At that point, you would have just made, you take your $100,000, you pay the bank back, they $80,000, and you would have made 30,000, or they 7,000, you would have made $20,000
Mm-hmm.
with none of your own money. You know what I mean? Like that's is like that's the biggest hack I think to life.
Mm-hmm.
Like I used to work for this company called Sell Your Sales, and they the #1 independent cell phone agency in the South. And but they get a $10 million loan to go
Mm-hmm.
buy iPhones. You know what I'm saying? And like when he said that, I'm just like, damn, y'all not no
Right.
crazy bid, and man, like shit, who can't sell an iPhone? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Y'all get
Right.
$10 million, go buy an iPhone, and y'all just post up and then sell them. Like,
Then sell an iPhone.
you know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna make $20 million. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, and it's just so many different things that you can do with the credit. Like a strategy that we have with our credit is just and we'll do this before we leave, just to show people like the different things that you can do. One of the things that we do with credit is once you get the structure of the report, and hold on one second.
Go ahead.
Yeah, once you get the structure of the report and you able to start obtaining different lines, and that structure is what I was talking about, the 3 revolving accounts and the 1 installment account, I can start getting you personalized credit. So just say, for example, you get a $15,000 cash credit card from Navy Federal, and it's a fairly easy card to get. I can get it for you after you had that structure on your file, right? What you could do with that $15,000 card is you could take the $15,000, right? You could come to my business, and it's just a play that you could do. You can come to my business, you can swipe your $15,000 credit card with my merchant account. I go to the bank and I get the $15,000 out, and I'll come give them to you. Okay, and you go pay Navy Federal off the $15,000. All right, once you pay them out, the $15,000 gonna come back available on your credit card, right? You'll come right back, and then you'll swipe them $15,000 the next couple days with me again for a real estate consultant fee. I go get the $15,000 out, get them back to you, and you go pay Navy Federal off again. Well, at this point, you can pay Navy Federal off $30,000. All right, so week 1, month 2, we go to Navy Federal and we like, hey, look, this $15,000 credit limit y'all got on me, it ain't enough what I'm trying to do. I need y'all to extend it. So more than likely, if the credit score where it need to be
They'll
for
do
their
it.
books, yeah,
They gonna
you
do
pay
it.
them, they're gonna do it no problem. So let's just keep the math simple. Let's just say they give you a $20,000 credit line. All right, you do the same thing. You take that $20,000, you come right back to my business, swipe with my merchant account. I go get the 20 bands out, come give them back to you. I get a $20,000 out, come give them back to you, and you pay Navy Federal out. I go get a $20,000 to you, and instead of going to pay Navy Federal off, you go take the $20,000 and you go open up another checking account with the $20,000 as collateral. Okay, and then you ask for a personal loan or a business loan off that $20,000. But let's keep everything simple. You can get up to $200,000, but let's just keep it simple. Let's just say they give you $50,000 off your $20,000. Okay, you should get that no problem. All right, you get that from that bank, $50,000. You take the $20,000 you had in the bank as collateral. You feel what I'm saying? Then you go pay back Navy Federal the $20,000 on the credit card. So that $20,000 come available again. So now you just took $15,000 credit and turned it into $70,000 credit. Feel what I'm saying? So that play right there. Like that's just one of many things that you can do with the credit. Like I say, you can get cars and put them on Turo. Like me and my girl, we got cars on Turo. We do the Airbnb. She know about we do this thing called Pill Space. She got a photo studio. All this stuff just off credit. Like we can go into a car lot, not spend no money, get a car, and put it on Turo, and it's gonna be rented out 20 days out the month. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just the age we in. You know what I'm saying? You could do a lot of it without even having no money. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yep.
Well, Brian, I appreciate you being on the show today. Thank you for educating us. Make sure y'all contact Brian for your credit repair services. You can tell he said it's simple. It ain't gonna take all that. It ain't
It
that
really
deep.
don't. I promise it don't. I promise. I had to
You
say
gonna get
fact
it
check
done.
me. Fact check me. 605B. Go look up 605B. I promise that's the best information you ever got in your life. And I promise you, don't take it for granted because I'm giving it up like that. You know what I'm saying? I promise you, none of that stuff that you see online, all that stuff you pay. I know folks charging $4,800 for credit sweeps. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a gross perversion. You know what I'm saying? A manipulation of the industry, and I ain't about that. You know what I'm saying? Like you can change your life with credit. You know what I'm saying? Section 605B. Check that out.
Section 605B. Okay.
And like I said, I'll do it for you if you need me to do it.
Thank you, Brian. Once again, make sure y'all check out FreeMan88 Financial Services and get your credit together.
All right. Thank you for having me. I appreciate being on your show. I hope y'all blow up for real. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Make sure everybody, those of you who are tuning in, go to www.totalentradio.com. Hit the TER button to catch all hits all the time. You'll be able to hear this interview as well. Brian, you got your flyer?
Oh, yeah.
Did you like it?
I did. It was dope. Thank you a lot.
You can start posting, start sharing, tell everybody.
No doubt.
Tune in. All right, y'all. Till next time, we out.
I appreciate it.